What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So you guys know here on this channel from time to time, I make these discussion videos to kind of gauge where the community stands regarding Gotham Knights. This to me is the best way for us to be able to know how people are in a sense approaching this game. So I've done again another survey that's just asking this one question just for me to be able to satisfy my curiosity, because after the dev Q&A, I feel like a lot of positions change, but this time I think asking a little much more of a deeper question was able to unveil some of the positions of a lot of people within the community. So I set up a survey about a few hours ago, and the survey now has 2,000 votes, and I asked the question, where do you plan on playing Gotham Knights? There were 4 options: PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, PC, and an option for people that are not playing. So here are the results. The people who want to play on the PS5 were 47%, which is extremely surprising. That's a very high number. Those who want to play on the Xbox Series X and S, about 16%. Then you also have PC, which there are about 14% of people that are actively looking forward to playing. And then there's about 24% of people who have said they're not playing the game, not necessarily only because of the fact they don't want to play the game. Some are like, well, I don't have a current gen console, but it's not necessarily that this game is going to be the game that pushes me to get one. And some people are like, I'm going to be waiting for reviews, and I'm also going to be waiting for maybe a sale or checking out how the game goes before I make the decision to buy. And this is, in my opinion, where I feel like everybody so far has basically made up their minds, and their decisions and their own opinions are going to vary regarding Gotham Knights. And so what is the approach that I feel a lot of gamers need to take towards Gotham Knight? Well, at this stage, I don't think everybody's basically going to take my approach, because some people have already pre-ordered the game. In fact, I have some of our really OG members of this community that have already pre-ordered even the deluxe, even the collector's edition, and so on and so forth. And to me, I feel like it's fine. I necessarily am not in a position where I want to tell anybody what to do with their money. That's not my business. It's your money. You do whatever it is that you want with it. I respect that opinion enough because you have already done the research, especially if you've been watching this channel or other channels. You already know what's satisfactory to you. But in my opinion, for those who are sitting on the fence, I say that there is an approach that you can actually take, which is basically waiting for reviews. I think review copies eventually get sent out to, a lot of the bigger YouTube channels, and they'll get their hands on playing this game. Most of us here on the internet, we already know our favorite reviewers. Some of you watch them frequently, like ACG or like maybe Skill Up or whoever it is that you watch your reviews from. These content creators are going to give you a piece of their minds. Now, in the case of reviews, nonetheless, there seems to be some questions that still remain unanswered. As much as some gaming outlets might try their best to do a review, they still try to limit their reviews to about 10 minutes and then they give a general score. I feel like this is not necessarily the most detailed reviews that you can get, and even when you get detailed reviews from some of the independent reviewers, it's still their opinion at the end of the day. I mean, some of you've watched a 1-hour review where you thought the game was going to be great, and then after you played the game you realize that the game was not for you. So it's in a very weird conundrum, and I think at the end of the day, like I always say, a gameplay demo will really be the selling point of Gotham Knights. Whether it be a network test of some kind, whether it be like, a small slice or a mission or whatever, where players can actually get a feel for the systems, I think that's pretty much going to seal the deal regarding the game. It will tell people who want the game exactly what they need to do, and people who do not want the game exactly what it is that they need to do. Another aspect of some of the community members here regarding Gotham Knights is some people have already said, I'm going to be playing Gotham Knights. The only thing is I'm going to be playing it a few months down the road. And to me, this speaks of their confidence level towards the game. And if you think about it, for those who have said that they want to play this game on the PlayStation 5, keep in mind that the game on the PlayStation 5 is $70 for the base edition, $90 for the deluxe edition, and then the collector's edition is going to scale all the way up to almost $300. Now, these are US prices, and depending on the region that you're actually buying from, the game's price is actually going to vary significantly. So this is another aspect to consider. Usually, the last gen games or games that will come out cross-gen would usually have the price point for those consoles, like, the $60 price tag or whatever whatever it is. And in this particular season, when there are other video games that are being touted to come out, that $70 price tag is probably going to be somewhat steep for a lot of gamers, because not everyone wants to shell out $300 or $220 in one holiday period to be able to buy 3 games that they want. If you think about the competition, possibly God of War Ragnarok is out there in the open, and then you have the Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, there are people who are in the Gotham Knights community who want to engage in those games, and God of War already has established credibility from its first game, doing so well, being so well put together, that it is going to provide a challenge. And if God of War Ragnarok is a PlayStation exclusive, its price point is also going to be somewhat high depending on what platform you're buying it on. So these are some of the things that are in there for consideration for a lot of people here in the community. And in my estimation, in my opinion, I feel like the very best deal that you can get on Gotham Knights, if I were to be frank, is on PC from a price point perspective. And I understand that, you know, a PC is probably a little bit more expensive to come about if you think about some, you know, aspects to building one. But I think the technical expertise, if you had, you would probably be able to build a PC for about the same price that you could buy yourself a current gen console. But the only thing is, you're going to be saying to yourself, I don't want to deal with any exclusivity that's in any of the platforms, and I'm just going to get a PC to be able to play these games that are available everywhere else. I myself, I'm leaning towards the PC platform, because at this point, I'm waiting to see if they're going to optimize the game for the Steam Deck. I'm looking forward to getting a Steam Deck when it's available for me, and I would like to play Gotham Knights on a remote basis where I can carry the game anywhere I'm going. But if that's not necessarily possible for it to run on the Steam Deck, then it can run on a gaming laptop, which I can also carry along with me. This helps me very well in my work and helps me to keep up with any game I'm playing, and so that's necessarily the main reason. Ideally, I'd have loved to play on the PlayStation and be able to, you know, get a huge plethora of people playing, but at the end of the day, I'm more of a solo player in this aspect, and so this is kind of where my decision is leaning towards. Now, it might change, but for the meantime, I think the incentive is more on the PC, because also I'm paying the base price, which is about $60, so there's a very huge incentive for me to be able to play on there, and I'm certain that that's the incentive for a lot of PC players. If you also look at the technical side, if you have a PC, then depending on the power of your PC, your CPU, your graphics card, and how much processing power you can actually maintain, then you can run the game on a very higher visual quality than say you could on a PlayStation 5, just based on some settings. And that is if the developers actually do and provide extra settings to make the PC version to be able to be much more enhanced as you, the PC player, are engaging with it. But like I said, this would depend on your hardware. But I guess at the end of the day, the reviews are going to really show and give a lot of different ideas as to exactly what the game is when that starts to happen. So keep an eye out for, you know, those reviews and for more details. If you're not yet part of the Video Game Fight School community, I encourage you to go ahead and, you know, maybe tap in or whatever it is that you need to do. You know, stay tuned. I'll try my best to be bringing as much updates as I can for you guys. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll talk very soon. Peace out.